This is A.R. Farina, writer of the Austin Chronicles, and you're listening to Genuine Chit-Chat.
Hello my friends and welcome to another episode of Genuine Chit-Chat. This week is a continuation of myself and my now wife Megan talking about our month-long trip from America. So last week's episode was our full week in Vegas, including our wedding day itself, and then this is kind of our honeymoon. So we spent 5 days in Yosemite, or just outside of, and we spent some time in Yosemite, in Bass Lake, and there's a few other bits and pieces sprinkled in there as well, but it was a really, really nice place to decompress. So this is another one of those episodes where it's just myself and Megan, as it will be for a little while. However, I am thinking that next week I might break these up a little bit by releasing a Clone Wars Conversations, because I've got like 3 in the bank now, and so I don't want to get too far in advance because the recording we did this week isn't going to be out for months. So I'm going to probably release Clone Wars Conversations next week on this feed and Comics in Motion and YouTube and etc. And then the week after that I'll probably continue these, because Megan and I have got 5 recordings from when we were away, but I think the last 2 I'm going to combine into one. So it's going to be 4 weeks of it. So that's generally what you can look forward to on this podcast going forward. In addition to that, if you want to hit even more from Megan, and if you want to get some of these episodes early and you want to get bonus episodes and stuff, please consider going to patreon.com/genuinechitchat. For as little as £1 a month, which I think is about $1.50, you get immediate access to over 200 episodes of Afterthought. You can listen to them on Spotify, on any podcast player, on the Patreon app, on desktop, literally anywhere you want. You can listen to all of them immediately. You could genuinely become a supporter for 2 months, blitz the whole catalogue, and then unsubscribe. I would still appreciate it in any respect. But friends, I don't think there's much else to say except I am going to be appearing on Banned Books Week next week. So that is a show that Tonya Todd does every year, and she does 7 days of banned books during Banned Books Week. So Banned Books Week this year, 2024, is the 22nd of September to the 28th of September. So on the Comics in Motion feed, it will be there. I believe it's on Tonya's YouTube channel as well, but I'll include links and stuff in the description, likely in next week's episode, because next week's episode is when the Banned Books Week actually starts. So keep an eye out for that. Check me out on social media for a few other bits and pieces I'm up to, and obviously snippets of stuff that I've been up to, including René's Lofenor, one of the conversations I had before I went away. His book is now out, so please go and check that out. Plus Tonya's book, 52 Love. I think pre-orders might be up for that now, which is coming out next year. There's Comics Lit by Tonya and Tony, which is out in, I think, a few weeks. Tony's other book, The Other Dashwood Girl, continuing the Jane Austen Chronicles. That comes out, I think, this month as well. So loads of incredible creators. And there's also some great news from Scott Weatherly that he announced online as well. He's got a book deal as well. So all the incredible people who are associated or friends of Comics in Motion are starting to get their writing recognised. And I couldn't be happier for so many of my friends getting published books, as well as the many people I've had on this podcast who release incredible books that are unpublished as well. But that's enough from me. I'm not going to come back at the end. Last week I lied. I'm not going to add a little outro here. This rambly intro can be enough for yourselves. But please check out the description. There's loads of information there where you can follow me, where you can find Megan, a lot of the guest spots we've done, and there are going to be some more guest spots towards the end of the year as well. Got lots of fun stuff planned. But friends, I hope you enjoy this conversation about Yosemite. Please contact me on social media, me and Megan, and let us know what you thought of this. If you had any experiences at Yosemite, we would love to hear them. But I hope you enjoy this conversation recorded on the other side of the pond in Yosemite. So thank you for your support as always. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters, and I'll talk to you next week, likely with Clone Wars Conversations. Welcome to Genuine Chit-Chat, where we have honest conversations with interesting people. And I'm your host, Mike Burton.
Sure.
I wasn't even recording then.
You little shitbag.
I wasn't recording you doing it.
I did a whole song for everyone.
You didn't do a whole song. You did.
No, they get coughs.
They did.
No,
you did the Indiana Jones style, which is something that you often do.
Well, now they will never know.
I was using my phone to record as well, by the way, so moving that was quite aggravating.
Oh, sorry. Well, I didn't like it so close to me.
So you just shove it out of the way like a cat. On the floor.
Well, if you want me to bat it off the table next time, I will.
Okay.
Anyway.
I couldn't put it too close to the recorder.
The Yosemite National Park.
We're in part 2 of the America trip. Part 2. So obviously did Vegas and stuff, so go listen to that. God, that's horrible. That's terrible noise. Sorry, friends.
I was making a toast for everyone.
Nice. So we've spoken about Vegas, and we were recording when we were in Yosemite. So we're in Yosemite recording right now, as we were with the Vegas chat, and we've been here now. We're just outside Yosemite. We're basically in Oakhurst.
We are in Oakhurst.
Which is still in California, the state of. And so we are like about 20 minutes from Yosemite's entrance. And
From the south entrance to the Yosemite.
yeah, and we've been here for, it'll be 5 nights. We're leaving tomorrow. It'll be 5 nights in total. But the first night we got here.
The first night we got here was stressful.
Yeah, so basically after we did all Vegas stuff, so there's a bit we haven't kind of gone through. So we did Vegas, and obviously we spoke about that. Then we flew to California.
We flew to Los Angeles.
Yes, to LAX, and then we met up with Alison Shelton of the Femme On Collective, and she's just a great individual that's done a lot of cool stuff that I've interacted with a lot with my podcast and things. So, and obviously Femme On, so go check her out. She's got a lot of cool stuff in the pipeline. But we basically met up with her for sort of lunch, it was breakfast tacos.
We went to a place called Home State.
Yeah, I went into her home and met her husband and things.
And her doggy.
And the dog, yeah, and kids and things. It was lovely. And so we did that, and then had food and stuff. That was lovely, catching up with her. And then we drove from there to basically Yosemite, which was, 5 and a bit hours?
It was 5 and a bit hours. We stopped off in Fresno to get some stuff for dinner, just to make sure that we had food. But yeah, we ended up getting here a lot later than anticipated. I think we arrived here around 10 p.m, but it was so fucking stressful finding this place because it's a trailer in the middle of nowhere. Like, we've got another trailer next door to us, and then there's a couple of little houses, but it is down like a dirt track.
It's not well lit. There's no
lights. There's some solar panel lamps, but they're not very well lit.
Yeah.
And it's right near walking trails into mountains.
Yes.
Or creeks.
The main road it's down.
And then I was on the verge of having a panic attack, but I managed to try and keep my cool. Mike managed to keep his cool while he was driving.
I'm normally pretty chill.
And we managed to find the property. And I'm not entirely sure how we managed to find the property, but we did.
I think I tried to go down one road initially, and you were like, "It's definitely not here."
I was like, "It's not down here." So I was like, "This is down a trail."
And then we went down another bit, and we couldn't figure it out. And then I said, "Right, let's just go back down there again. Let's go past the trail. Let's ignore the sat nav." And then we saw there was a turning, and we were both like, "Is this the corner that's described in the description-y thing?" So I kind of turned there.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we had the extra description from the owners of the property.
100%.
Because without them, we'd have been fucked.
Yeah.
The sat nav, even now we know where it is. We've been able to drive to the closest town and get food, and we can drive back. We have the sat nav on just in case, but we get back. But past a certain point, the sat nav is not helpful because it every time you put it in, it takes you to the wrong location.
Yeah, it does. It goes down the wrong way. Which is pretty annoying, but the place itself is lovely. This trailer that we're in is really cool.
It is really cool.
It's so nice and cozy.
We've got a really nice decking area.
Yeah,
that
by a creek.
Hummingbirds come to every morning, and it's really lovely. We've got a table outside, although we haven't actually eaten it because of bugs.
No, we've gone down to the creek a couple
We've gone
times.
down to the creek, so there's another little
nice to go down there and take a look.
Another little table that's further down, and then further down. It's right down by this running stream of water, so it's really lovely to just sit down there.
Just for 5 minutes or so, just listen to the water. It's lovely. It's being surrounded by nature. I mean, and that's what so we've done the last 3 days. We went to Yosemite twice and Lake Bass once. So it's been the whole area is lovely. The trailer's really cool and things. It's got it's a kitchen. So Megan's been cooking for dinner pasta. And we've got a
because the first day we didn't do anything. The first day we just went to the town, had a wander, and then we chilled because the day before was so stressful.
Yeah.
So that was So we arrived on the Tuesday. Wednesday we just chilled. We found our bearings, went to the shop. Thursday we drove to the national park. So we went to the Yosemite National Park, and we went to Mariposa Grove.
Yeah, which
and we
was
did
amazing.
the Mariposa Grove trail that turns into the Wawona viewpoint trail.
Yeah.
So I think we walked just under 12 kilometers in total on Thursday.
Yeah.
It was a really cool trail. We saw the grizzly bear tree, which is one of the oldest trees in the Yosemite National Park.
The giant sequoia trees.
It's a giant sequoia tree. I think it's meant to be like
it's
around 4,000 years old.
Yeah.
Wawona Point is at, I think where we were, it was above 4,500 feet above sea level.
Yeah, it's 6,810 feet.
Oh, 6,810.
Just because I had the photo up to make sure I knew what was saying.
So yeah, that was really cool. We weren't intending on walking that far, but we just kind of kept going, and then past a certain point we were like, well, we might as well just go to the top.
And like, how much was your watch said like...
My watch said I'd burned nearly 2,000 calories.
Yeah. We'd gone 11.5 kilometres?
Yeah, just over 11.5 kilometres.
Yeah, it was 4.5 hours of exercise, basically walking up.
That does include us sitting down at points and taking pictures of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. But it was really lovely because we basically saw, I think apart from one tree, we saw all of it on the whole.
Yeah, and we saw 2 deer.
Yeah.
We saw some chipmunks.
Yep.
We saw some woodpeckers. We saw some squirrels.
Yeah, it was lovely. Didn't Megan really want to see a bear? But
I was like,
you don't really want to see a bear, to be honest with you, and you wouldn't see him in the middle of the day with all these people.
Yeah. Then that evening we came back and we just chilled.
But just to clarify, that Mariposa Grove, absolutely phenomenal.
Oh yeah, definitely
incredible, beautiful out there. There's lots of pictures that we've put on.
From the south entrance, it's literally the first thing that you can do in the national park.
Easy. It's easy to get to. You just get a shuttle.
And there is you don't have to do the 11.5 kilometre trail.
No.
There was one that was even further. There was an extra 6 miles on top of that.
Yeah, it's great.
Otherwise, there's shorter versions of the route that we did.
Most people did the grizzly tree, and then a couple of people did the tunnel tree, and then about half the people then just wandered around there because that was about a kilometre and a half or so to do both of those.
Yeah, where we went, you didn't see a lot of kids.
No,
the only kids that were where we were being carried by their parents.
Pretty much, apart from being teenagers kind of age.
Yeah.
But
I was knackered.
We were very tired. We were up to Wawona Point. It was lovely up there. The views were absolutely incredible.
Oh, and we ran out of water.
So
that was the thing that we messed up with. Because today we were overcompensating and we took way too much water.
That's true. But we didn't walk as much.
No. Yeah, we ran out of water, and by the time we got back down to the bottom, I was dying. I was like, oh my god. Yeah. My mouth was so dry. I drank an entire litre of water when I got down at the bottom, and then my stomach hurt.
Yeah. I drank about a pint, half a litre or so. The thing is that we had about 2.5 litres, I think, of water, or 1.5 litres of water. I think we had 2.5.
I think we had 2. No, we had 2 litres of water between us.
And the problem is that at about the 3 hour mark,
But again, the issue is that we didn't know that we were going to be walking that far.
We didn't think
that wasn't the intention was that we were going to be doing about 6 kilometres in total.
We're going to do the first couple, but then each time we got to a land point, and we were
there's another tree, and it's only half a mile away. We might as well just carry on. And the next thing we knew, it was 1.5 miles to the top, and I was like, well, we might as well just go.
And then when we started on that top, the point, it was like, oh my god, this is tiring. But when we got to that top bit, it was just unlike anything.
But then
else.
The problem is that you're like, oh yeah, it's going to be nice and chill walking down, but then your shoes bash into your toes, and it's not as fun.
No, but we did get down pretty quick, though.
We did get down quickly because we went onto the perimeter trail.
I saw a couple of other things more down there, which is good. A couple of trees we hadn't seen.
Yeah. So that was Wednesday.
And again, all we've been doing, it's funny, there's not going to be...
No, Thursday. That was Thursday.
There's not really going to be many afterthoughts about what we've been watching, because we've just been, not really even watching much.
We've been
talking.
What's it called?
We've been watching human resources, but we've been talking. We've been out by the creek. We've just been so tired and stuff. So we
brought card games with us as well, and we've been too tired to even do that.
Yeah, last night I went to bed at 10.
Yeah, Mike was falling asleep on the sofa.
Well, so you were also.
Oh yeah, but that's standard for me.
You were snoring, and I was like, I'm trying to stay awake, but I'm so sleepy. But we went to.
So that was
Yosemite
Thursday.
Mariposa Grove.
Then yesterday, which was Friday, we wanted to go to Bass Lake, so we did some research and we found a spot that we were going to go to, and then we ended up parking at this resort.
When I say we, I mean Megan did all the Bass Lake stuff.
I've done all of the stuff.
And Yosemite as well. Yosemite and the Bass Lake stuff. You've done all of it.
Mike has contributed financially.
I have, and a veto. That's about it. Some of the other stuff I have been more involved with, but the Yosemite stuff, I must
all
admit,
of the trails, every single thing is because of me.
The most decisions I've made is helping us choose merchandise and bringing, packing bags. I've been pretty good at packing bags.
Yeah, but Yeah, so we went to Bass Lake and we ended up parking at this like resort, but they had like public parking out the front because it was also like the local post office.
Yeah.
And then because at the moment the kids are like starting to go back to school in America, so I don't think it's like peak season anymore. I think it's at like the tail end of peak season.
Yeah.
So we ended up being at this resort.
And we're there quite early. We were there
and we were there early. We were there like before 10 a.m, I think.
Yeah, I think it was at 9:30ish or something.
So we went into the reception of the area just to double check that we weren't parking like where we're not supposed to. And she essentially just said, yeah, you can just go and use like the beach out the front that's like, or like is the lake. You can go use this area of the lake out the front. You go through here. If you can't get in, use your finger to wiggle the thing and just make your way in. And I was like, all right, okay,
yeah,
sure.
if the gate's locked, just kind of reach over.
So like it's an area where you're supposed to have like a key card to get into. And Mike and I just sauntered on in.
Yeah, it was unlocked when we first walked in.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was completely open when we first walked in. So we just wandered in. And then we like just put our stuff on a chair, and then we went into the lake, and it was so beautiful.
Because the woman said like, she was like, you can, she was like, yeah, you can have a couple of hours.
She was like, as long as you don't take the mickey.
Yeah, she was like, just have a couple of hours, it's fine. Because we were there quite early, so it was like she knew. But if we left before like midday-ish, people start arriving there like seriously about 12-ish.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Or 1. Whereas in England, it's like people start arriving places around 9 or 10. Whereas in here, it's like, oh yeah, midday-ish. It's like, what have you been doing all day? But obviously not to insult anyone else's culture, but it's just interesting. It's fun seeing little differences between the UK and other countries, especially English speaking ones. But yeah, so we went there and we found this nice little spot, and it was
it was
nice
like a
beach.
Quiet, tiny little beachy
lovely
bit that went into the lake, and it was really, really
sand.
nice.
So we went out and we swam for a little bit in the water together, which is good fun. It was really nice. The temperature was perfect. Got some really cool photos because we've got our phones in those waterproof case things. But that was lush.
Then there were some people with some paddleboards, so I went and asked where they hired them from, which was
California
like
man.
the thing that was next to us. And yeah, this guy from California started talking to us. He was like, "Where are you from?" He was like, "You have an accent." I was like, "I'm from England."
Oh, and he
I was
said,
like, "Where are you from?" He was like, "California." And then he was surprised that we had found
Lake Bass.
Bass Lake. Because he was like, it's not really like a place. He was like, "What brings you here specifically?" And I was like, oh, well, we're staying in Oakhurst and it's like highly recommended. He was like, what, just because you're coming to the Yosemite? And I was like, yeah. I was like, it's solely because it was so expensive to stay in the national park that I was like, I managed to find this trailer, which was half the price. So, and we love the trailer.
Oh, this trailer's ace.
And also it means that we
Location's
can
really
go
good.
to a shop that's not in the national park and therefore hasn't hiked up all of its prices.
Well, there's like 2 or 3 shops that you can buy that kind of stuff at near us.
Yeah.
As well, which is good.
So yeah, then we went and hired a paddleboard. We just got one between us because Mike's never paddleboarded before and I've only ever done it once
Like
before.
kayaks and other stuff.
And it is
Sailing.
tiring, so we had it for an hour. So then we just swapped in between.
Yeah, they said that was fine. I both had life jackets, as they call them, but they're actually buoyancy aids.
I fucking hate wearing life jackets. It's annoying. I'm good at swimming.
Well, they're really buoyancy aids because a life jacket is something you wear in like an emergency situation that fills up with air until someone comes and gets you. Whereas a buoyancy aid is what you wear when you do sailing or water sports, especially when you're younger.
Regardless.
Because it helps you stay afloat. It's not a life jacket. It's not that... Because life jackets are shorter term in a lot of respects. They're there to save your life, whereas buoyancy aid, you're still meant to like manoeuvre around in it a lot more.
Well, regardless,
But
I hate
it's
wearing
just-
them.
Yeah, they are really uncomfortable when they suck, and I've never liked them because I used to wear them a lot when I used to do sailing and a lot of the other water sports stuff I used to do in the summer holidays.
It just prevents me from swimming. Like, I can't swim when I'm wearing it.
But you will find that if you weren't wearing it in the middle of where we were, there'll be points where you do go under very quick, and when the waves start coming in, it is a lot more.
And also just getting onto the paddle boat.
Yeah.
Paddleboard.
It's little things, like I would rather, if they didn't give me one, I wouldn't wear one, you know what I mean? But if they give you one, I'll be like, okay, if they're doing this, it's probably wise to. And the water was surprisingly deep pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was deep.
Like, it did suddenly drop, and the floor was squidgy as well, which doesn't help if you get stuck
The
under.
floor was squishy.
Yeah. But had great fun on the paddleboard, and I was really good at it, actually, which is quite refreshing.
I managed to kneel up.
Yeah, Meg managed to get up, and
And also, I will say, so I have done paddleboarding once before, which I did it in the sea, so it
Yeah,
was
on your
harder. I did it on my Hendu, but the paddleboard that I had on my Hendu was significantly larger, which does make it easier, and also it's the right size for my body shape, whereas the one that Mike and I got, I think, is just like a bog standard generic sized one.
Yeah.
So it was considerably smaller than the paddleboard that I went on, and it was also just like less stable.
Well, the one that we used was like a wooden...
It was like made out of
plasticky
plastic,
thing.
whereas the one that I went on was like an inflatable one, like a really good plasticky one. But I don't know which one's better, but I found this one harder to use. Like, I couldn't stand up on it.
Yeah, whereas I could stand up on it and I could paddle around with it. I didn't really... The times I fell off was when I was trying to be too quickly, when it was really wavy, or when I was trying to get my phone out to take a photo. They were the main times I fell off. But we had a real good time on that. Really, really fun. Then we looked around the local shop a little bit.
Got an ice cream.
Got an ice cream. We've got little souvenirs. A lot of the places we've gone, be it like a little sticker or a magnet or like a little coin penny thing we like.
Yeah, then we came back and we just chilled.
Again, I think we watched...
Oh, no, we didn't. We went to the shop, and then we went into that nerdy shop. We went into the thrift store.
Yeah, we went.
And then we went to that place that was the outside junkyard.
We spent an hour
that had all the
through some
shops.
Yeah, we bought like a few things in the nerdy shop.
And then we came home and we chilled.
Yeah.
And then this morning we got up early and we drove further into the national park. So we went to the Yosemite Valley.
Yep, zoomed through, no traffic at all.
Yeah.
Whereas the first day we went, even though we were there quite early, we hit into about half an hour's worth of traffic.
Yeah, there was no traffic this morning because we were there like an hour and a half. Well, we got to that point an hour and a half earlier.
Yeah, we were there like, what, 20 to 9 or something?
We were there earlier.
Most of the time it was like past.
So yeah, we parked at the Yosemite Village, like, welcome centre.
Yeah.
And then we walked from there and we did a little loop round towards the Yosemite Falls. So we saw the Half Dome.
Bridal
we saw the
Veils,
Yosemite.
wasn't it?
That was afterwards.
Oh, sorry.
Yosemite Falls. So we did a little loop there, which was really cute.
Saw some waterfalls.
We saw some waterfalls. We had a little coffee. We had a bear claw.
We did. That was lush.
It was nice.
I had something called the Black Tie Coffee Original, which is nice with chicory syrup. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But the mountainsides and what you can see and the depth of your vision when you're out there is just unlike anything else I think you experienced. Like, when you're out there, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's so
stunning.
beautiful. We took a lot of photos, and you kind of... It's a weird thing, because you want to not take loads of photos because you want to enjoy how it looks, but also, it's so picturesque. You can actually, if you're into photography, you can get some really, really cool-looking shots. But also, you just want to be able to kind of remember it, because it's so incredible. And I know everyone says this, but pictures really do not do it justice, or even videos. Like, you see videos of people up there and you go, wow, that looks really cool. But it's the same with the Grand Canyon, which is once you go there and experience it, it's because it fills up every sense of yours. And I found that when we went to the Yosemite on was it Thursday? We went to Mariposa Grove and stuff.
Yeah, Thursday.
When we did that, I felt like there were points it was just me and you, wasn't it? And it was just all you could see, hear, smell, taste, feel.
Yeah, quite a lot of it was just me and you.
You and me and nature, and just pure, just complete, like, privacy from everything. And although in Yosemite, in the main bits, there was not often that many times we were completely by ourselves, there's a couple of times, and it was just, again, visually and everything was just beautiful and incredible. And it was just something that I think
it is stunning.
If you can, like, it's
and also like just driving through it, driving through it. We both drove today. So Mike drove out there, and I drove back.
And you absolutely smashed it as well.
So as did you. But like, it is something else driving through.
Because I've been doing most of the driving.
Atmosphere.
But you've driven a few times now. You often drive back, kind of now.
Once I've seen the road, I'm fine. But to be honest, I've actually not been faced by driving on the other side of the road at all. It feels like exactly the same.
I was gonna say, it's all been real single 2-lane roads.
I think it would be, as we were talking about it in the car earlier, I think it would be different if we were driving a manual car.
Yeah.
Because I think if we were driving a manual car and we're having to change gears with our right hand, I think that would be really confusing.
I agree.
But because it's an automatic and we don't have to fuss around with that, it just feels like you're driving like a go-kart.
Because even the foot pedals are the same.
It's just mad, because as soon as you put it into drive and you take your foot off the brake, it just goes.
Yeah.
So like, it just drives itself, and you just kind of top it up.
Yeah. It's like...
It is cool. I don't mind it. I don't hate the automatic car.
I see the appeal.
I like the car itself.
I prefer manual.
We're driving a Ford Edge.
Yeah, it's very nice. Nicer than either of our
It is
cars.
a sexy
Newer
car.
by like 10 years of either of our cars. So, but it's a lovely car, lovely drive.
Also, America, why are you confusing when you come to like filling your car up with petrol?
Oh, yeah.
So Mike and I were struggling the other day. I ended up asking this random guy because we were trying to top up fuel. So we'd said that we wanted to pay by cash, but then it wasn't changing. Like, you could still see the cost of the previous person. It wasn't going back to zero, so you couldn't pump. So I asked the guy. Then he spoke to us like we were fucking idiots.
He was nice about it.
He was nice about it, but he was so confused by the question.
Yeah.
Because in his head, he couldn't understand why we didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because what you need to do is you get your thingy, you choose whether you want to pay in card or cash, you select that option, you then go inside to tell them how much you want to pay in advance, you pay that money, and then you go back out to your car and you top it up with the amount of money that's there.
What makes it more confusing is actually, you're completely right there, but what you do is before you go into the place, you key in how much you want. So it says how much you want to top up with, and we went, oh, that's 40 quid. So we pressed 40 quid, press enter, but then...
No, we didn't do that.
Oh, did we not?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're making that up.
Completely.
You're getting mixed up with if you're paying by card and you have to put in your zip code.
Because that's what happened when we gave the hire car back, and thank God Mary was there, or Davith knew as well, but where it was like, oh yeah, when you pay by card, you have to put in your zip code, not your PIN number, the thing that protects you. You have to put in your zip code, so where you live. So we don't have that in the UK. So you have to do the numbers of your code with just zeros after it.
Yeah,
to make
but
5 digits.
this random guy that I asked, because I was like, I'm just going to ask this guy. And Mike was like, no, don't, let's figure it out. And I was like, I'm literally just going to ask him because I can't be bothered to be stood here. Like,
I would have gone in if it hadn't made
So yeah,
sense.
I went in, and then so then I went and asked this guy, but this American guy was just like looking at us like we were fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But he was really nice about it.
He was.
He was very nice, but he was looking at us like we were fucking idiots. I don't think he couldn't understand why we didn't understand that you had to go in and ask for the amount of money in advance. And I was like, that's so weird, because for anyone that's listening to this who has not been to the UK or has driven in the UK, we just go to we just go, and do you know what? We just fill up the car and we're like, I'm done now, and now I'm going to pay for how much I've put into my car.
No, because the card, what you do is you put your card in first, you go up to the machine, and if you pay at the pump,
Well,
put
yeah,
your card in, type in your PIN, and it goes, okay, it flash charges you 100 quid just to make sure you can take.
Yeah, but that's if you're paying at the pump.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that, so with the card,
most places in the UK now are pay at the pump.
Yeah, so that's
as Mike's saying, you put in your card, you put in your PIN number,
not your zip code or your address that people around you would know. If
you put in your card, you put in your PIN number. It then accepts it, and then you start filling up, and then you fill up how much you want to fill up.
Yeah,
and then that that gets charged. Otherwise, if you're not paying at the pump, you fill up how much you want. You go inside and you say, I'm pump number 3. And they're like, oh, is that the one that's £67.20? And you're like, yeah. And then you pay for it. Why do you have to go inside to say how much you want in advance? Because, for example, like Mike made a good point the other day. He's like, what if you don't know how much it costs? Oh, no, the aircon's turned on. It's loud. We have to return the car, the hire car, at maximum petrol.
Fill up gas.
If we go to a place, we're not going to know how much that is.
No.
We're just going to have to say, oh, let's put on this much, and if not, they give us a refund. Like, that's such a weird system.
Well, that's why I had to ask at the thing. I said, right, I want to put £40 in. I said, sorry, I'm from the UK. This is now, So this was now so after we spoke to that guy and he told us how to do it, and we walked into the shop and I spoke to the person in the shop of the pump place, and I said, I want to pay £40 on pump 2. And he was like, okay, and I was like, in cash. And I was like, also, if I give it to you in cash, if it turns out it's like £35, what happens? $35. He would say, oh, you come back and I'll give you the refund for the remaining.
Weird.
And I was like,
it's such a backwards system.
And obviously I was like, okay, that's fine, because I didn't want to be all weird about it. I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And so I went out there and it stopped at £39.87 or something. I was like, no! And I managed to push it up to 40, barely.
It's such a bizarre way of doing it.
Here's the thing, every gas station we've seen charges a different amount for fuel. So you can't just say it's $40.
And also there's a different price for fuel if you're paying for it in cash, and there's a different price for fuel if you're paying for it by card.
Which makes no sense to me at all. I don't understand why that's a thing. In the UK, it's just the most you get in the UK is certain big payments. If you do by credit card, there's a small charge. That's like big things online. And the other thing is certain shops are like you have to spend £5 to pay by card. That's it. But that's quite rare now. That's it. Everywhere else is just cash or card, the exact same amount, whatever. Don't make a difference. And a lot of places are like, we don't really want cash anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the pump thing, is that every single gas station you go to has completely different gas prices in more than one way, as Megan said. And also if you're driving someone else's car or anything like that, that adds to it. But even if you're driving your own car, I don't know to the penny how much it costs to fill up my car. Because not only does every gas station it's a different amount, every day fuel prices change.
Yep.
So how are you ever meant to know that it's like 40, you want to fill up by £40? Do you just have to loosely go, I know there's about £35 left of fuel.
It's a really
so I'll
weird
just say 30
system.
and never really fill up my car properly.
Is that your toe?
That is my toe.
Oh,
that
sorry.
weird fleshy thing you're touching with your toe. Yeah.
It is a very bizarre system.
Don't understand it, Americans.
Anyway, yeah.
Long
but
thing.
that was just a ramble. But
And then
today, we went to...
We said that about that.
We done that, though, and we went to Bridal Veil Fall, so we
Yes.
saw a second...
Waterfall.
or a third waterfall, and then we went and had our lunch down by this little river, and we climbed over some rocks, and I put my little tootsies in the river
We
water.
saw some blue birds that flew
We saw some
near
blue
us,
birds that
so
were
then-
our friends.
Yeah.
And then we went back to Oakhurst specifically to buy donuts.
We did, and we've got some donuts to eat as well. Because we've been very good. We've been walking a lot. I mean, we've been doing what was it? We did 12,000 steps today. We did what? We didn't do that many steps yesterday, but we were in the water for about 2 hours.
Yesterday we did about 8,000 steps, but yeah, we were swimming for a good hour, and we were also paddleboarding between us for an hour. So we did loads of exercise yesterday. The day before we did 25,000 steps.
Yeah, that was
Today I
insane.
think we're on about 13,000 steps.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of exercise, and we're like, you know what? We're on our honeymoon and stuff, and
So I want a bloody donut.
yeah, and it's like for lunches and breakfast, we're literally basically having the same thing, which is just we get a baguette or French stick, as Americans call it, with some ham in there, some eggs, some egg, maybe ketchup or butter, and taking that with protein bars. And in the morning, we might have a banana or a yogurt. And when we're out on the hike thing, that's basically what we're having. Not the yogurt, obviously, but lots of water. So we're doing pretty good. But we're actually eating a lot less in America than we have been even in the UK, I think.
Yeah.
Apart from in Vegas, where there's certain points where there's loads to eat, but it's a great time. I would recommend. Yosemite is absolutely incredible. Grand Canyon's phenomenal as well, but Yosemite is absolutely. I could just spend a week out here, just easy. Just
I think
going
that's
through.
the difference between the two. I think for me, seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time, even seeing it the second time, it is still the most breathtaking thing.
Yeah.
However, for longevity of enjoyment, it would be obviously
It's a day.
the Yosemite, because the Grand Canyon is a day trip.
Even 2 days.
There are
would be
other
pushing
things
it.
that obviously you can do. You can go down into the canyon and you can go onto the water, or you can go to different parts of the canyon. I've only seen the West Rim. If you go down to the South Rim, apparently the views from the South Rim are even more stunning.
Yeah, but it'd be a couple days.
But I
3 would
could
be
continuously
pushing it.
come back to the Yosemite National
so
Park.
many
I love
trails.
it. It's so beautiful.
It's so colossal and there's so many trails.
But
And-
also there's just different aspects. I know that yesterday wasn't the Yosemite because it was slightly outside of it. It's classed as the Sierra National Forest.
yeah.
But Bass Lake is like a lake. It's like going to the beach.
Yeah.
Then you've got the rivers, which for me, I love even more because I used to go to the rivers in Italy all the time when I was younger, and I love swimming in cold water. So being able to do all of that stuff, I just love it.
You love water in it.
I love it.
mostly.
There's nature, there's forests, which are one of my favourites. There's water, which is one of my favourites. There's just so much stuff here.
And we saw a bit of history as well, didn't we? We went to the museum of that was giving us information about the native peoples and some of their basket weaving and things like that. And we went to they call it the Indian village, and so it's where they've got a lot of native people kind of.
Yeah, they had
showing
a
some stuff.
special ceremony on today.
Yeah, every day they do certain stuff, and then they had traditional singing and those kinds of things, and they had a fire going and etc. It was cool to watch, and there were some stalls and there was some selling some things. But yeah, Yosemite has just been fantastic. We've only done 2 parts of it really, or kind of 3 almost, but it's been fantastic. And Megan, you've done an absolutely stellar job finding all the routes and doing all that. But I'd say we could easily spend a few more days here just.
Oh, absolutely.
In the day, walking around in nature, having a great time, burning calories, seeing incredible views.
Yeah, I feel sad that we're going tomorrow.
It
has gone really quick.
We haven't really been thinking about anything. All we've been thinking about is getting to the place, walking around, eating. Today we had a little treat of a coffee and a bear claw, and then just. And
Well,
when we
it's
talk bear claw, we're talking about
yesterday.
pastry, by the way, friends. We're talking
Yeah.
about Americans don't eat the claws of bears. It's a pastry croissant kind of thing.
It's like yesterday,
I love it.
we went to the lake, we went paddleboarding, and then in like our own time we left.
We had an ice cream as well.
We had an ice cream, like we sat outside and dried off a bit as well, and then like we went to the shops, and then after that we like took our time to get home because we were like, oh, that looks cool, let's go over there, that looks cool, let's go over there, and we like managed to just leisurely take our time. It's just been nice, like,
well, that's the thing with that
not having to stick to a time schedule or having to be rushed left. Like Vegas was busy because we were having also to kind of like herd cats, because at points there were 8 of us, which is a lot of people to try and
and
maneuver.
family and
at one point
friends.
there was 9 of us because of M's friend that was also there.
Yeah,
so like, so you know, it's just a lot. Whereas like it's just me and you, and it's just nice to be able to just go to our own rhythm.
We just do whatever
and do what we want without any.
Like pretty much all the
else.
time when it comes to vibes. Okay,
Not that I didn't like Vegas.
No, of course, Vegas was incredible, but it was everything was turned up to 11, whereas here it's the exact opposite. Here we can, like, we had that first day, and we were like, you know what, when we were first day here, we were like, we're so tired and everything was so exhausting. We don't have to go and hike and do loads of Yosemite stuff. Let's just enjoy the nature around us and have a breather. It's just one of those things where that's why this part is so amazing and why the trailer's so cool, because the TV is quite small. It's not small, it's medium size. It's nice, but where it's positioned, it's just a little bit awkward.
It's in like a little cubby hole, so of, if you're not directly in front of it, some of it gets obstructed.
Yeah, I'm sat at the dinner table and I can't see it, which is fine, because what you'd have this trailer for, really, you wouldn't be watching the TV. But it's actually one of those nice things, because I think if we'd have stayed in an accommodation that had like a giant flat screen TV, I'd be wanting to watch like cool movies and things like that. But where it's quite small and kind of uncomfortable to watch a little bit, it's been furthering the reasons to enjoy everything around us a bit more, which has just been lovely. It's just been beautiful few days, so calming and so nice, and all we've been thinking about is just Yosemite, what to do next, what to eat for dinner. No stress, no like, oh, should we have like a couple of donuts just to share? Yeah, let's do it. I want a Arizona iced tea, which they're amazing and I love them. Sure.
Oh, and I've got my Mexican Fanta in the fridge.
Oh yes, very fun. So absolutely loving it here. It's just incredible. Then we've got a few more days of chilling. A few more people that we get to see over the next few days, and Universal and those sort of things, and maybe we'll try and do a little pod before we go to Disney World, and then another one for Disney World. We'll see. But friends, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We're having a great time here, and we will speak to you when we get back.
Bye!
Why are you doing that?
I was doing that to get you to stop scratching your leg.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm going to keep scratching.
Stop scratching your leg. Mike's got eczema.
I do have eczema.
Stop scratching.
I do have eczema, and it is itchy.
You have just experienced host, creator, everything elser of Genuine Chit-Chat, and also the host and creator of Star Wars Comics and Canon, found on the Comics in Motion podcast, Mike Burton.